Well, it's Kelly Green Jersey Day, and the Eagles officially launched them both online and in person, much to the delight of hundreds of fans who camped out outside the link to go ahead and pick theirs up. Also, a lot of love for Nakobe Dean. He's one of the starters at linebacker so far at camp, and people are raving about him. And an interesting take on the Eagles going and getting a safety. A lot of stuff going on today. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Monday. Philadelphia is off practice today. However, tomorrow, the pads go on for their first padded practice. We'll have full updates on that for Tuesday. Let's go for some of the interesting stuff happening today. First of which, as you may have heard, it's Kelly Green launch day, and hundreds of Eagle fans camped out since 3 a.m. last night outside of the link to pick up their Kelly Green jerseys, and they're still lined up there right now, and reports are saying they're still having them available as of noon Eastern time today. Pick these up right now. They look absolutely fantastic. If you grabbed one, let me know which one you guys grabbed down below. Now, not to be outdone, the Eagles did announce when they will be wearing the Kelly Green jerseys, and we have Week 7 Sunday night at home against the Dolphins, and Week 12 against the Buffalo Bills. Two very good matchups and very good jersey combinations. You think the Kelly Green with the Bills blue, or the Kelly Green with the Dolphins kind of turquoise, or aqua blue? Absolutely fantastic matchup here. These are the 2 days the Eagles are going to wear these Kelly Green uniforms, and I am a huge fan. Thumbs up for the Kelly Greens. Thumbs up for Kelly Green Day officially in Philadelphia. Now, let's get to some of the training camp news from yesterday we didn't cover on Sunday's video. First is K'Von Wallace. Did you hear? He's getting some first-team starting safety reps, according to multiple people who've been at Eagles training camp alongside Reed Blankenship. So Blankenship's been one of the starters. The other starter has either been Terrell Edmunds or K'Von Wallace. Very interesting. Now, all the love is for Sidney Brown. That's the guy we've been kind of waiting on to see when he's going to make the first big plays of training camp. Haven't heard much from him so far, but K'Von Wallace is kind of that forgotten safety who was drafted early enough to be considered a future starter and yet never really blossomed into being a starter. Played a couple games here and there, but really got abused at safety whenever he was in the football game, and so you kind of just threw him to the wayside and said, oh, he'll be a backup or be cut this season. Well, he is getting his chance. We know he's bulked up a little bit this offseason. He's been working out. Can he actually win the starting job? I'm going to be very curious about him and this battle at safety going forward, because I did not expect to see this headline of K'Von Wallace starting, and he's been starting for some of the 11-on-11s and some of the 7-on-7s with the rest of the starting defense. So curious your thoughts on K'Von Wallace. I still think it'll be Terrell Edmunds and Reed Blankenship, but what does this mean for Sidney Brown? What does this mean for Terrell Edmunds? Not sure. We're going to find out once they go ahead and officially put pads on. Now, the other player who's been drawing a bunch of love so far at training camp is Nakobe Dean. Now, obviously, he's been the starting middle linebacker and calling all the plays on defense, so you feel very confident he will be the starter come week 1, but the raving and the applause from his teammates has been very impressive. Listen to what Nolan Smith had to say about Nakobe Dean being ready to be the starting middle linebacker.
Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, man. My dog been ready. He been doing this since day one. I ain't worrying about that. I'm ready to follow him. People talking about he been the signal caller at Georgia for 3 years in a row, and I know how hard Coach Smart is on him, and I know what he expects from himself. Certain people hold themselves to a high standard, man, and he's an engineering major. So if you think his brain is worried about something like this, it ain't. And so I just say, man, when you a high standard person and hold yourself to a high standard, people will follow behind you every day, and that's what Nakobe is for me. Not
to be outdone, you see the Thomas R. Peterson tweet here. He's getting a ton of applause early in camp from teammates. Desai says Dean is doing a great job despite getting a lot thrown at him. And James Bradbury shouted out Dean saying he's doing a great job communicating to the defense. And so we kind of have the official announcement. It will be Nakobe Dean as your starter. Now, things can change. Sure, I see that comment going down below in the comment section right now. But let's assume Dean's the one starting linebacker. Who's going to be the other? Is it Morrow? Is it Christian Ellis? Is it somebody else? The linebacking shift has kind of gone to those two players and away from Dean, because it feels like Nakobe Dean has done his job in terms of winning this job, in terms of being the starter and being the leader. Remember, he did call plays for 3 years at the middle of the Georgia defense, won a national championship game. Not like it's his first time doing so, but after not doing much in year 1, year 2 seems to be the coming out party for Nakobe Dean and the rest of these Georgia Bulldogs on the Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of other Georgia Bulldogs, Jordan Davis. You've heard him being raved about so far at training camp. People have been asking him if he slimmed up. Did he lose weight? He didn't necessarily lose any weight, but as you see here from Zach Berman of The Athletic, he's in better condition. From Davis, quote, "It's all about conditioning. My face slims up. I look a little more handsome. It's a little more motivating too." And so we've seen pictures side by side of Jordan Davis slimming down, getting more muscular, less guts, thinner on the face. All good news because it means his conditioning is better. But I thought this report from John McMullen of Jacob Sports saying, quote, "I think he has stood out the most. One of these things about camp is how much Jordan Jordan Davis has played. He's played a ton in 4-man fronts. I didn't expect to see that, end quote, meaning he's actually in there on 4-man fronts and not just run stopping downs on 1st down and 10 or 1st down and 5 or 2nd down and 5. He's actually playing a lot more, meaning you could see Jordan Davis in not just run stopping situations, but pass rushing situations as well. It's kind of the bonus of Jordan Davis that you weren't expecting to get here in year 2. Maybe a little bit better rushing the passer, but if he's playing a lot more, especially on these 4-man fronts, the conditioning is much better, and that gives him a much higher chance to not only be in the rotation more often, but show us that he's not just a 1st down run clogging hole stopper. He's actually a pass rusher as well. Him and Jalen Carter together could be a really scary combination because he's still going to plug holes for the running game, but if he can also get some interior pressure, oh my goodness, very exciting stuff there from Jordan Davis. Can't wait to see what he does with the pads on going up against this Eagle top-rated offensive line. Now, another report that is surfacing around the interweb is the idea that Howie Roseman is calling about safeties. Now, we haven't had official confirmation on this, although Derek Gunn of Jacob Sports did say he's heard this rumor as well. Quote, "We've heard the rumor of the weekend that Howie Roseman is looking out there at different safeties. If it's out there now, then there has to be some truth to it," end quote. And so, again, does it mean that he's going to make a phone call tomorrow and go trade for Budda Baker, who did just get a contract extension? We talked about that last week. Don't think it's going to happen. No, but he is calling around. And so we talked about K'Von Wallace starting a little bit early on. Does that mean that they don't like Terrell Edmonds and they want to bring in a safety? I don't know, but keep an eye on that one final move that Philadelphia could be looking to make, lurking around, trying to add in before the end of training camp in order to make this team and this roster better, right? It doesn't need to happen. Philadelphia can still be a Super Bowl caliber roster without a new starting safety, but if Howie thinks that they need one more player to get over that hump, similar to the C.J. Gardner-Johnson situation of last year, then you could see a move happen either today or happen tomorrow or happen next week or the week after, or wait until, the final preseason game to actually make a move. I don't know when, but keep an eye on this rumor. I really want to see if it's going to be an official rumor, something that people actually tweet out, like people from NBC Sports or people from The Inquirer or people from ESPN, or it's just kind of this internal Twitter rumblings that Derek Gunn is hearing because it's hard to differentiate rumors that swirl around the National Football League time and time again. Okay, plenty more stuff happening tomorrow as we have our first padded practice, reportedly. They could change that, but reportedly you have your first padded practice for Philadelphia on Tuesday, meaning that you're going to get to see a lot more from players that we've heard rumblings about, right? Get to see Nakobe Dean with the pads on, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter with the pads on, Jordan Davis versus this offensive line. How does Cam Jurgens hold up when the pads officially come on? Jalen Hurts is, almost perfect preseason so far, not turning the football over. The running backs, the whole entire storyline of pads is a whole different layer and a whole new level on the Eagles training camp. And we have all the coverage here daily on the Thomas Mott Show. So if you guys enjoy that, go ahead and subscribe. Join the over 2,000 new subscribers we've had just in the month of July alone. We're flying up the charts right now, and I appreciate that. Plenty more stuff happening on the next couple of days and weeks, so be sure to stay tuned. I'm Thomas Mott on a Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.